A lot of you guys watching this video have a 9-to-5 job, but you want to make money on the side. Well, in today's video, we're talking with 5 different 9-to-5ers who have built businesses while keeping their current job. We'll be asking questions like, how'd you get started? How much do you make? What side hustle should people start? And how can others do what you do? I guarantee you're gonna learn a lot from this video, so let's get started. So what's your name, age, and can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
So my name is Rafael Hernandez. I am 26 years old and I work as a software engineer at Microsoft, and then I also have a few businesses that I run on the side.
That's amazing. Could you tell us a little bit more about what side hustles and businesses you have?
So when I first met my now fiance, she was a notary in college. When I met her, we ended up scaling her notary business. That one makes around like 100 to 120K a year. We also have an Airbnb that we run. It's an Airbnb in Los Angeles, so we manage that ourselves. And then more recently, a month ago, we started an AI automation agency where we're helping businesses implement automations and AI and some marketing into their business.
So what do you exactly do for clients in that business?
So it's custom automation, so it varies for businesses. For example, right now we're working with a lot of loan officers because of our notary business. We have a lot of loan officer connections. So for example, the whole literally from A to Z for the loan mortgage process, it's all automated for our clients. Like the clients get updates, the realtors get updates. They have like an AI booking appointment bot that basically helps book appointments for them.
Would you be willing to share how much money you're bringing in on a monthly basis?
I'll say on a monthly basis, I'm bringing in around 40 to 50K, around that range, with my full-time and then the 3 businesses.
What does your day-to-day look like?
Between the hours of like 5 to 9 is when I try to do the work for the businesses before I go into like my day job. 9 to 5 is like when I'm working on Microsoft. After work, sometimes I'll work a little bit on the business again, but I try to get it done in the early part of the day as much as possible.
Obviously, you have a well-paying job at Microsoft, but also your businesses are doing really well. So when's the point when you're going to quit your job, or are you going to quit your job?
I want to go harder on the AI automation agency because it's so new. I want to make sure it's established and making more than what Microsoft is paying me. And then at that point, I'll feel more comfortable leaving the Microsoft job and then going all in on the agency.
What skills do you think people should learn if they want to branch off from their 9-to-5 job and start their own business?
I've really been trying to go harder on like marketing and sales, because you can have a great product, but if no one knows about it, you're not going to be making any money. For example, I think I learned the most from like Alex Hermosi's books that he recently launched. So I have like the $100 million offers and the $100 million leads book he just launched. I think reading those 2 books and understanding the importance of them, I feel like that's like critical for any business.
If you were starting from scratch, you didn't have any other businesses, just your job, what's a good business to start right now?
I would say just any internet style business, right? Like I think the whole traditional like buying out like an office space and having like product based business or something, I feel like it's kind of the old way. I think the new way is just like maybe like launching an online course, online community, helping people with their marketing. I think any of those, even the AI automation space, I think it's a lot newer, so I still don't know how it's going to play out long term, but I think that's also another great opportunity, especially because it's like barely kind of taking off.
How are you able to take risks? I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with. They don't want to leave their job or try anything else because it's risky.
That's one thing I've realized over time, that the most successful business owners are usually pretty risky, right? They tend to take more risk than the average person. And I think it comes down to just making sure you believe in yourself, right? If you do take the risk and it doesn't work out, at least you learned something from that experience that you could take on to your next venture. So just kind of having that growth mindset, I feel like helps a lot.
What advice would you give people that have a 9-to-5 job, but they want to work for themselves in the future?
It's going to take a while, right? Because you need to learn the skills and you have like 40 hours a week that's dedicated to something else, but there's always time to work on your side business, and just working on it every single day, even if it's just an hour or 2, it's going to compound over time. And then eventually, if it all works out, you'll be able to leave your 9-to-5 and work for your business full time.
Would you say someone should build up momentum in their side hustle first before leaving, or should they just just quit and go full in?
I think it's better to stay in your 9 to 5, work on your side hustle, and then eventually over time transition out. By staying in my 9 to 5, I can use that money that I'm getting from my 9 to 5 to fuel my side hustle. And it also helps me be less stressed out about worrying about money right before like my business is well established.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been told?
Just believing in yourself, right? I think just having the self-belief and knowing that you could do it, I feel like that's going to take you way farther in life. If you don't believe in yourself, I think it's just going to make it 100 times harder. Whatever you're doing, if you have no belief in yourself, the world isn't going to believe in you. It's just going to make it 1,000 times harder to get where you want to get.
Okay, so before we jump into our next interview, let's chat about a smart move you can make while juggling a 9 to 5. Investing with my go-to app, Moomoo. Investing isn't just for Wall Street pros. It's a skill everyone can master, especially if you're earning a regular paycheck. With Moomoo, it's not just about stashing your cash. It's about making it grow. And their new Cash Sweep program is a game changer. You're looking at 5.1% APY on your idle cash, way above what typical brokerages offer. And it's 11 times higher than the national average savings account rate of 0.45%. That's your money making money even while you're off the clock. Now let's talk flexibility. Moomoo's Cash Sweep isn't your average bank account. You can move money in and out as you please. And picture this, a $10,000 deposit could fund your coffee habit, cover multiple YouTube Premium subscriptions per year, or even get you a brand new Mac Mini, all through passive income. Worried about security? You shouldn't be. Your funds in Moomoo are FDIC insured up to a cool $1 million. And here's the kicker, sign up now and you can get up to 15 free stocks. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned investor, Moomoo's got you covered with top-notch tools and insights to make informed decisions, no hidden fees, no subscriptions, and no minimum deposit or account management fees. So why wait? Hit up the link in my description, get your account rolling, claim those free stocks, and start earning that sweet 5.1% APY. All right, let's jump back into our interviews. So what's your name? Where are you from? And what do you do?
So my name is Nicole. I was born and raised in Maryland, but my parents are both Nigerian. I'm currently a full-time program coordinator for my company, and I have a few side hustles. So I own a tutoring business. I flip sneakers, and I also loan money, so money lending to peers. Oh, and I also help my brother flip cars.
So can you share us how you basically went from, just working a job to also doing a bunch of really cool things on the side?
So like when I was in college, that's when I got into selling sneakers. So like, you know how, I'm sure you know about the sneaker market. You can make great money doing that kind of stuff. So like ever since then, I had a mentality that, okay, if I need money, there's like quick ways to do it to just get it like that. I also really enjoy math. So when it came to tutoring math, that was like a no-brainer. My little brother's really into cars, and I have an Amex Platinum, so no limit. So we literally sometimes purchase cars with my card. He sells it within 30 days, no interest. We pay off the card. I get credit card points, and he keeps the rest of the profit. And then the peer lending, you have friends who are always gonna need money. Lend them the money, they give you a little bit back on top, and yeah, that's how I got into all those pretty much.
How do you juggle all this stuff, especially since you also have a job?
I would say the tutoring is the most difficult to juggle because that's more so dealing with my time and other people's time. I have a planner and my iPad, I use that to the T. Like you have to be very well organized when it comes to those things. If not, you will definitely experience burnout or just get tired of doing it.
How did you get the confidence to trust the process and just go for these things? 'Cause I think a lot of people are scared to start, right? What would you tell them?
It will be different for everybody. For some people, they don't mind trying new things, whereas some people, they can be crippled by the thought of it. So if you're someone who's okay with trying, then just jump into it. But if you're someone who I guess is more crippled by it, you really will have to encourage yourself and I guess have a reason for why you want to have these side hustles, whether it's to save for a house, just to have more money, get out of debt, whatever it is, and just use those reasons to remind yourself and kind of encourage yourself, okay, this might be out of my comfort zone, but let me do it because of X, Y, and Z.
For someone that doesn't know what they want to do for a side hustle, what are some good ideas that you have that you think might be good to start?
Find something that you are good at. That's the first thing I would tell them. Find something you're good at and figure out a way to monetize it. If there's nothing that you can honestly say that you're good at that you can monetize, you literally have to just go to YouTube and do a quick little search, side hustles to look into and stuff like that, because other than that, there's really no basis because there's so many options.
So for your 9 to 5 job, what are your plans with that?
I always tell myself I don't think I'll be able to keep up with the side hustles forever because there'll be a time where I'm going to be a mom, and so I would definitely say I want to grow in the corporate sector so that way I'll have one stream of income, can make more or even equal to what I make now with all my side hustles combined and my 9 to 5.
Which one do you like better?
Definitely the side hustles, and it's mainly because of the flexibility / freedom. I'm always late to work, which is not good, but I always am. And it's not even an issue where I didn't wake up early. It's just I don't know, something about the fact that I got to be there exactly at 8 or 8:30. It's why? I can get my job done in a shorter period of time. I shouldn't have to be in the office for 8 hours. So I really enjoy the flexibility when it comes to side hustles.
For the average 20-year-old who is about to maybe graduate college or get their first real job, what would you tell them to do?
The first thing I would tell that person is to have your expenses as low as possible. No matter, like, if you're making a lot, making a little bit, it doesn't matter. Keep those expenses super low and get in the groove of handling that 9 to 5. And then once you feel like you're in that groove, find some more ways to supplement your income.
So what's your name? And then what do you basically do for a living?
So John-Raphael, currently an attorney and have my own business at the same time.
Can you tell us more about your 9 to 5 as well as your business?
Sure. So I'm a compliance lead for the human resources department at an international commercial real estate firm. So my business outside of my 9 to 5 is a law firm. I basically run a virtual law firm.
How did you start? Like, can you take us back to those weeks or months when you first started the business?
I had an office. So I did start with a brick and mortar location at one point. I was meeting a lot of clients online, so I started just doing that. So I had the brick and mortar. Then I actually went to Tennessee for a little bit and worked under an apprenticeship under another attorney just to see how he was doing his business.
Right now, you also have your 9 to 5 job. Why do you choose to hold on to that job?
Right now, I'm in that space where I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I mean, the hustle and bustle of entrepreneurship, and I mean, I help entrepreneurs. It's not meant for everybody. And for me, I'm still trying to figure out if that's something I want to do long term, but given the flexibility I have, it allows me to have that choice.
What does your day-to-day look like? Like, how do you balance both these things?
So I wake up, I'll jump on a couple of calls for my 9 to 5, and then after 5 o'clock, I'll start checking my emails for my law firm. Sometimes clients will text me through the days or email me through the days, and if it's something quick, I'll respond quickly. But I usually commit to like at the end of the night. So really, I'm usually putting about like 12-hour days, 9 to 5, and then from 5 to 9 most of the time.
How do you prevent burnout?
I really enjoy what I do. That's what keeps me motivating. It is exhausting though, because being an entrepreneur, you know, not only am I just working on the legal stuff, but I'm working on the administrative stuff, bookkeeping, a whole bunch of other things. So really what it's come to is I've had to learn how to delegate things. Then I take time for myself. I have to always prioritize myself. And it's something I even tell my clients who are entrepreneur, you have to prioritize yourself, because if you're not at your best, you can't give your clients your best.
How did you learn the skills that it takes to run your business? Were you completely prepared before you started, or did you sort of take that leap of faith?
I wasn't prepared. It was a complete leap of faith. I was just blessed that I had somebody as a mentor to help me get through it. It really comes down to having a good network and good mentors. And I was really blessed, honestly, to have that experience, because my mentor really showed me how it was to be a partner of a firm and also just to run a business. Because in law school, they teach you somewhat of the law, because you're not going to learn everything in law school, but they don't teach you the business of law.
Would you be willing to share something that your mentor told you that really stuck with you, like a piece of advice?
When it starts bad, it ends bad. If they started off bad with you, he was like 95% of the time, it's gonna stay that way going forward. And he was quite on the ball with that. So when it starts bad, it ends bad.
So there are a lot of people watching this video right now that are working a 9 to 5 job, but they want to potentially start their own business, work for themselves. What would you tell them?
Just do it. Literally, just do it. You will never be fully prepared for it. You'll never know everything. And that's the beauty of life. You really just want to jump into it if you're ready for it, and just experience it, because you'll never be ready. I mean, I've had my firm for over, 5 years at least, going on 6. I still don't know everything. I know a lot better than when I first started. And that's the key point that I remind myself, that where I was when I first started my law firm, I'm not in that place anymore, and I'm definitely a lot much better.
Any final advice you want to give the audience?
If you have the entrepreneurial bug, try it. Don't get caught up in what other people are doing. See what you can do for you, and really learn yourself and see what capacity you have, because again, entrepreneurial is not for everyone, but you won't know until you try. And there's some people I know that they tried, it didn't work out, and they're still just as successful.
Introduce yourself, your name, your age, and then sort of what you do for work and your side hustle.
I'm Rabin, I'm 26. My main occupation was working as a physical therapist, and my side hustle is about stock markets.
Can you tell us more about how you got started with, trading stocks?
I lost my dad 5 years ago, and I was fully responsible to take care of my family, and especially my mom. I get into different kind of businesses to end up in the stock market.
What does your day-to-day look like?
I I basically start my day at 5 in the morning. I go to the gym for the first session of the day, 30 minutes. I work like 10 or 12 hours. From 7 to 8, I gym again to like get rid of stress and so on. From 8 to 10:30, I work on my side hustle, like I make my stock analysis and so on.
Would you be willing to share like how much money you make per month on average from trading?
I can make like 5 figures, and there are months that can be negative. Like trading is not only about positive, it's also a lot of stress, also about the management of your emotions, of your money, of your positions that are between these two factors.
How did you get the confidence to start working outside of your normal job? I think a lot of people want to do this, but they just don't know how to get started.
When I once again lost my dad, I just understood that you can't stay in the only way that the society like wants you to stay.
What final advice would you want to tell people that are considering doing something on their own outside of their normal job?
Take the risk you are able to afford. Go for it. If it doesn't work, then take the lessons, correct the way, and go for it once again. And at the end, you for sure will succeed because there is no other way.
What's your name? Where are you from? And what do you do for work?
I'm Rebecca Tongsanoon, and I live in Austin, Texas. And for work, my day job, my 9 to 5, is I'm a principal product manager at a software company that does e-learning. On the side, I do real estate investing. I started off with one house and rented out the rooms to roommates, and now I have a portfolio of real estate that I rent and live in my own home.
How do you manage your time? Like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis to run the real estate investing business?
Either it's really busy or sometimes it's just money that comes in every month and you don't have to do anything. That's the best case scenario, right? The money just shows up. The busy times are when you have move outs and you're looking for tenants.
What does your team currently look like?
So I don't have a consistent team because the work, it just ebbs and flows. Now I just have a team of people that I know who to call. I have my backup AC guy, I have my painter, I have, all the people that I know that I can trust. And honestly, a lot of the things that I do now, I've replaced with all the tech that's out there. So even showing the houses, there's now lock boxes where you can send a code and there's a company that validates, collects their license, makes sure that they're legitimate and they're interested and they can do self-tours. So you don't even have to meet them for a self-tour. So
could you share some of those platforms?
Tenant Turner is who I use for the lock boxes. And I use something called Codebox, which works with Tenant Turner. The rent collection, I would highly recommend Zillow. Zillow has a lot of great tools and they're great if you have one property or you have 2 properties.
So a lot of the people watching this video, they're probably looking for some type of way to supplement their 9 to 5 job income. Would you say real estate is still a great way to make money? And if so, how do you actually get started? Like, what would you do?
I think it's always a great time. I know right now the interest rates are really high and that's all you hear about. And when I got started, interest rates were higher than they are today. Real estate is a time game. So the more time that you have as far as years to build that equity, the better off you are. So the time to get started is now. And the best way to do it is what now they call it house hacking, but it's just renting out rooms, whether it's Airbnb, doing short-term rentals or long-term rentals, or if you don't want to live with anybody, then to buy a multifamily property. So maybe there's 3 or 4 units and you live in one and rent out the rest. The best thing to do, I think, is to call the bank where you bank locally and talk to somebody and just understand what your options are and figure out the math, and then start working towards a plan to buy that first property.
For someone that wants to get into real estate investing, in what scenario would someone fail at real estate investing?
If you end up going at the very, very edge of what you can afford, and you've got this huge mortgage payment that is crushing, and then you lost your job and then you couldn't find a tenant, that is the part that's going to make it very tough. So you always want to make sure you do the math, you know exactly what you are getting into. In the worst case scenario, you can afford, you have an emergency fund that can carry you for a few months as you're looking for that renter, and just know what your limits are.
Is there any final advice you want to give people that have a job but are looking to make some money some other way?
Yeah, I think you just have to get started, do the research, but don't let all of the analysis prevent you from getting going. And the best way to get the experience is to try it and to make it happen, because having that side hustle, even though it's a lot of work at times, it will definitely pay off. And even if something fails, like if you try something and it doesn't work out. I mean, I had a stand-up paddleboard business at one point that was a side hustle, and I did it with a friend, and we had a great time doing it. It didn't end up going anywhere, but we had a great time, and we learned so much from doing it. So, I mean, there's just every reason, in my opinion, to just try out all these different side hustles, especially if there's something that you really love doing. And then if you do something like real estate, it has offered me a lot of good opportunities too. So you just never know what's going to happen once you start your side hustle.
Anyways, that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys learned something. Personally, I was super inspired by everyone we talked to. It's so cool to talk to so many entrepreneurs who have been able to keep their job while chasing and monetizing their passions outside of work. This whole channel is about helping you guys become financially successful. And if you guys have seen any of my content, you know that I'm a big believer in side hustles. That's how I got started in entrepreneurship. So yeah, hopefully this video can inspire you to get started on your side hustle and not rely only on your 9-to-5 job for income. As always, if you guys want to get some free stocks, we'll put links down below. We also have a bunch of free courses on my website that you guys can check out. And yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. On this channel, I do a ton of videos about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.